It starts with the protagonist named Hart, who had shut himself in his room for years after being horribly bullied in his high school. Lost in his own sadness, suddenly he found himself reincarnated by a beautiful goddess. Hart quickly realized that he must have died and was granted a second chance in a new world filled with magic. The goddess informed Hart that she would give him cheat skills to help him in his new life. The goddess completed his reincarnation. To Hart's surprise, he was reborn as a baby, and to make matters more insane, he turned out to be the son of the king. He also bears the royal insignia on his body. As excitement filled the king's heart as he anticipated his son to possess immense strength, he ordered his advisor to perform a magical assessment to determine Hart's power. They expected him to be at least level 40. As his mother was the hero who had defeated the Demon King. However, they were all flabbergasted when the assessment revealed that Hart was merely a level 2 and had no elemental abilities. The king and his wife couldn't comprehend how they had ended up with such a seemingly useless son. Fearing it would bring shame upon the royal family if it's exposed, the king and his wife made a cruel decision as he ordered for Hart to be disposed of in a faraway forest. Hart was devastated to hear that he was about to die again right after being granted a second chance at life. The goddess who had reincarnated Hart actually forgot the measuring devices in this world can only go up to 2 digits, and she gave him level 1002. All alone in the forest, Hart felt powerless and helpless, but he remembers his ability to use barrier magic. He decided to give it a try. He managed to form a barrier cube and effortlessly altering its size and shape. He even lifted himself into the air. However, his peaceful moment was stopped when a gigantic wolf suddenly appeared. Fear coursed through his heart. Hart then gathered his barriers to wield trees as weapons. But still the wolf remained determined to eliminate Hart from this world. Hart decides to escalate his attack using his barriers and lifts an enormous chunk of the ground as he prepared to crush the wolf. A voice is heard through the chaos pleading for surrender. Hart halted his attack only to discover that the wolf could talk. Hart then engages in a conversation with the wolf, who couldn't fathom his extraordinary strength and believed him to be the reincarnation of the Demon King. Hart, the big brain, played along with the wolf's assumption of the title Demon King. The wolf, now known as Flay, acknowledged defeat and swore loyalty to Hart, mistaking their interaction as a pact. Despite Hart's attempts to explain, she refused to listen, convinced of their newfound bond. However, Hart suddenly collapsed. He needs breast milk.
He needs some milk!
Flay, who just transformed into a human, tries to help but discovered she had no milk. Suddenly, Flay heard someone approaching and she contemplated eliminating the newcomer. Hart, being wise, urged her to try doing what is called a conversation. Hart then uses his barrier magic and established a telepathic connection, allowing Flay to hear him from a distance. The newcomer revealed himself as Hart's relative, claiming to be there to save Hart. He then explained his own personal tragedy of losing a child during pregnancy and expressed his belief that every child deserved a chance at life. Touched by his words, Flay couldn't help but to cry, and a deal was made with the newcomer. He agreed to take Flay in as well, recognizing her bond with Hart, leaving behind evidence to suggest Hart's demise. The newcomer ensured that Hart and Flay could live together under his care. 9 years have passed since Hart grew up in his new family, who had shown him unwavering kindness, although he had initially planned to leave once he no longer requires milk. But their love and support had changed his mind. But he is faced with a problem. Charlotte, who seemed to dislike him. Flay, now serving as their maid, is really close with Charlotte. As Hart is watching them, his mom explained him that Charlotte's behavior was a result of her age and unfamiliarity with interacting with boys. He then feels the need to prove himself as a reliable individual. However, he remembered that maybe she knows he was a 30-year-old man reincarnated. Hart's father then takes Hart into the yard to teach him swordsmanship, even though Hart's lack of interest in it, who is aware of his father's expertise in battle, believed he had no chance against him. As the training began, Hart instinctively cast a barrier to protect himself and charges at his father, which broke his sword in the process. But the damage shocked his father, who then urged Hart to try dodging his next attack. And to everyone's surprise, Hart effortlessly evaded his father's strike, a feat that he believes to be impossible for anyone under level 30. Hart couldn't help but wonder why his powers were so exceptional. Even when he attempted to measure them with the strongest crystal ball, he only sees the number 002 displayed. That night, Hart's father told his wife, expressing his concern that Hart could potentially be a demon, as he revealed the existence of secret records detailing that there are instances of the royal family breeding with demons, resulting in some children being born with demonic traits. Hart's mother defended her son, insisting that he appeared perfectly as human being. Despite these concerns, Hart's father reassured his wife that Hart is still their son and will have a happy life. But what Charlotte, who heard all of the talk, was stunned by the possibility of her brother being a demon.